What's going on, everyone? This is Ryan with Automatic Comics, and I've got another big weekly comic haul. I've got about $6,500 in books from the gold, silver, bronze, and modern ages, so stay tuned to see what I picked up this week. Alright, before we get started, please remember to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content like this. This was another big week for me for picking up books, so got some great books in here, and we're going to start with this one. This is actually from another buyer that I had never bought from before. He is on Instagram. His name is Richard, and he's one of the members of Bronze and Modern Gods. If you're on Instagram, you may see them on various claim sales, and they have, I think, like a podcast and YouTube channel, that kind of thing. So definitely recommend going and checking them out. And he just had a pop-up claim sale, and I follow him, and I happened to see it and just checked in and was watching it, and there were some books that I thought were a good deal that I decided to pick up. So let's get into this. Alright, so yep, this was the box from Bronze and Modern Gods. Here's a sticker that they sent, so if you want to go check them out, that's what their logo looks like. And the first book, I mean, this book was just an absolute steal. I had to pick it up. And so this was Star Wars #1, and he had it at a VF or a VF Plus, so an 8 or an 8.5, and I mean, it looks nice. It's a nice looking copy, and it was $100. I mean, this book has gotten really, really expensive, so I thought that was a absolute steal for this book, and so I couldn't claim it fast enough. So I picked that one up. I mean, in a 9.8, that book is going for like $6,000 or $7,000 now. It has just exploded since the popularity of Star Wars has really picked up again, and its first appearance in comics of just a bunch of characters, and so huge key for Star Wars, and definitely happy to pick that one up because I used to have multiple copies of that book, and I had sold them all before all the hype started, and I was really kind of regretting that I missed out on a lot on that, so happy to have picked that one up. Now the next one, I mean, this was another one that I thought was just a great price for the book that it is, and this is Amazing Spider-Man #51, and this is the first cover appearance of Kingpin. It's Kingpin's second appearance. His first appearance is Amazing Spider-Man 50, which is that red cover that's super iconic cover, but still like a great book. It's got a crease kind of along the top. It doesn't really look like it's color breaking, so it's maybe something could be done about it with respect to pressing, but just a nice looking copy. And I mean, I think I paid $100 maybe for this one too, and so I just thought that was just a great deal for second appearance of Kingpin, first cover appearance, just one of the most iconic street level type villains, so real happy to pick that one up. Now this next one, I've actually shown a similar book to this one recently, and when he put this one up for sale, I felt like I had to grab it. And this is Albedo #4, and it is the third appearance of Usagi Yojimbo, and it is his second appearance on the cover on the front. He's on the back cover of Albedo #3, which is the book that I've picked up a 9.8 of recently that I showed, and but this is his second front cover appearance and third appearance overall, and just this character, books around this character have absolutely exploded. They are low print run books and a popular character. It's going to have I believe it's a Netflix show, and so just a real great book to have. Just a tough book to get any of those in just about any grade, and so very happy to have seen that one pop up and pick them up. I think he had it about a near mint, so that's like a 9.4, and I'll definitely take a look at it, but I thought it was a great book to get. Now the last one, Dr. Doom Everything, has gotten so expensive, and this is one of his cooler books. I think it's one of his best covers, if not his best cover, and this is Marvel Superheroes #20, and it's one of these books that is kind of like, again, part of his origin. It's also the first appearance of, I believe, Valeria Doom, who's Dr. Doom's love interest. And so he had this as a 5.0, and I think that sounds, it looks about right. You know, there's some stuff going on along the spine, but in general, it's a nice looking copy, no big creasing or anything like that on the cover. And I have one other copy of this book that's probably about a 7.0, but always happy to get copies of this book. He's a big pusher of this book. I think he has like, I think he's got like 20 copies or something like that. So he also, you know, is really specking on this book, and I think it's a great book to get. So Marvel Superheroes 20, if you can find copies of this before Dr. Doom shows up eventually, I mean, this is a huge book to get because his first appearance is just crazy expensive. I mean, you're spending thousands and thousands of dollars for any grade. So going into things like second appearances and origin stories, that kind of thing, are great options. And this is, I mean, like I said, one of his best covers, if not his best cover. Love this book. All right, now the next one here, this seems to be a similar story. This is from that seller that I bought the Batman 181 and the Tales of Suspense 57 from, that I said, you know, I was checking out what I thought of that seller because I hadn't bought from them before, and I bought from them again. And so I am definitely someone that if I find a seller that I like, I will just keep going back to them. And I like the seller. He ships safe. I think his prices are good, and so I'm happy to keep purchasing books from him. Now, this one of these is a book that you have already seen. Not today, but in the prior video when I was talking about that seller. And this is Batman number 181. And I bought another copy from him. This is the first appearance of Poison Ivy, but this copy is missing the centerfold. So I had talked about that in the prior video, how that centerfold is often missing, and with this copy, it is missing. So, and that definitely impacts the value of this book, but this book still has a significant amount of value even with the missing centerfold. And so if you look at, you know, sold listings, that kind of thing, you'll see qualified labels or green labels where they'll grade them missing the centerfold, and they still hold quite a bit of value without it. So it is a great book to pick up regardless. Just, it's one of those things where as long as the seller is clear that it's missing that, it's not a big deal. And so awesome book, first appearance of Poison Ivy. Now this next one, this is a really rare book. I was surprised to see this one pop up. It is a very low grade. It's probably like a 1 or something like that. But this is House of Secrets number 1. And this is a early Silver Age book. I think it's 1956. And just really, really rare. It is not a book you come across very often, and was definitely happy to pick this one up. He had it for just $100, and to me that was just a steal for this book because, I mean, yeah, it's missing pieces down here. It's, you know, it's a low grade copy, but when it comes to certain books that just you don't see, sometimes you just have to take the copy that you can get. And I was pretty excited to see that book pop up on that sale, so I went after it, grabbed that copy. All right, so this is another book from from another seller that I hadn't bought from before, and so, I mean, that's one of those things. I'm always checking out new sellers, different people that are selling books, and you know, because if you don't try people out, if you don't see what they have and how they grade, and you know, with their prices and everything like that, you never know what you're gonna get from that seller, and you could be missing out on things. So I'm always open to buying from different sellers. So this was a book that I do have a few copies of, but this one looked really nice, and this was a case where it wasn't a like claim sale or something like that. He had posted the pictures of it on his Instagram, and I messaged him, and then he sent me more pictures because it was not a cheap book, and so it's definitely one of those cases where I wanted to be able to evaluate that book myself before I made an offer to pick this one up. Now this is a book that is pretty tough to get in one of the higher grades, so we'll see what it looks like, but based on, you know, all the close-up pictures and everything that I looked at, it seemed like it was in good condition. All right, there was a lot of tape on that book. I finally got it all off, and it's a nice looking copy. I think it's probably around an 8, but this is Luke Cage, Hero for Hire, #1, and the reason this is such a tough book to get in high grade is because of that black along the spine. It shows everything, and you can see this is a super clean copy of this book. This is definitely the cleanest copy I've had. There's really like no color rub, maybe a little along the spine, but usually there's a lot of color rub. Now the spine definitely has some wear. You can see if you count it up, there's about 20 spine ticks, and that's really where I think the majority of the wear is. So that's why I've got it estimated at about an 8. It's one of those situations where counting up the flaws, and this one there's around 20 of them, and but otherwise, I mean the main book itself looks incredible. There's really no like reader crease or thumb crease, anything like that. Colors really pop. So just a great book. Happy to get that one because I think this is an undervalued book right now. This is one of those books that I think could increase in price a lot, and so definitely looking to pick up copies of that book. All right, so now to the last box. So there are 5 books in this box, 4 slabs and 1 raw book. I'm going to start with the raw book. And this is Boy Comics, #7. And this is one of these classic World War II covers where you've got Hitler and Hirohito and I think Mussolini on the cover. And so these ones always go for a big premium. You've got the American flag on it and everything like that. So just a great cover and one of the more desirable books from this run. So was very happy to be able to pick up this copy. This is one that I will probably send in for grading. It's a low grade. You can see it's missing a piece, down in the corner here, and I can't remember if the cover's attached, that kind of thing, but it's a low grade copy, but still a very important book, a big book from that run, so happy to get that one. Now, the next 2, I have been talking about these types of books a lot lately. I think they are destined to pop, and some of them already have, and this is X-Men #138 and a 9/8. This is a Bronze Age X-Men book. This is when Cyclops leaves the X-Men after Jean Grey is killed as the Phoenix, and so I mean it's one of these just important Bronze Age books from that story, and I think all of these Bronze Age books right now are very undervalued, especially when you're talking about the high grades, like 9/8s, 9/6s, that kind of thing. And so I would definitely be picking up copies of those books if you can, because everything else X-Men has been spiking, and these ones still haven't moved quite as much yet. And the next one is also another X-Men Bronze Age book, and this is the first appearance of Weapon Alpha. This is a 9.2, and again, just another Bronze Age X-Men key. Great cover, him giving Wolverine an uppercut, so just a fun book to pick up. And always trying to get these Bronze Age X-Men keys, especially trying to get as high a grade as possible. Now, with first appearance books like this, 9/8s are getting really expensive, multiple thousands of dollars. So those are getting a little more out of reach, but still high grade copies. I'd like to be above the 9s for those books because they're relatively recent. They're from the 70s. There are a lot of high grade copies available. All right, this next one. These ones I think are kind of like the next step after Fantastic Four 48 and 49 and 50. There's some of the other big books to start going after, and this is Thor #169. And it's one of these Origins of Galactus books. I believe it's 168 and 169 are the big books for his origin. And it's a cool cover with his silhouette on the cover. This is also, you'll notice, white pages copy from the Silver Age. And like I said, I'm not big on white pages. I don't price books based on page quality. But if I can get a White Pages book for a good price, I will definitely get it. And so I think these books are other ones that are really good to get with how expensive the Galactus, first and second appearances, those types of books are, that going after things like his origin are great. And I've seen Journo from his channel, he's talked about those books as well, about picking those up, and I definitely agree. I think they're great books to get. All right, this next book here, I am always surprised when I can pick up a copy of this book for a good deal, and this is a big key in the Fantastic Four run, and I talked about this book just, I think, earlier on in this video. This is Fantastic Four #6, and this is the second appearance of Doom. It is the second appearance of Submariner. It is the first Marvel supervillain team-up with Doom and Submariner. It's a great cover. You've got all of the Fantastic Four on there. You've got Submariner, you've got Doom, and this one, again, is a White Pages copy. It's a 1.8, so it is a beat-up White Pages copy, but it is still White Pages, so that is pretty great for a book from 1962. I mean, that is pretty early Silver Age. And so for Dr. Doom, his first appearance, I mean, it's so expensive. I mean, thousands and thousands of dollars. 0.5s going for over $5,000. And so going for things like second appearances are definitely, the next step. And even this book has gotten really expensive. I think I talked about this in a prior video. I sold a 2.5 for $1,500. And so that's what these books are going for. I mean, they are very expensive. I thought this was a great deal when I picked this book up, and I will happily grab copies of this book whenever I see them for a good price, because anything Dr. Doom, anything Submariner are just super hot right now, and this has both of them, both of their second appearances, and just great book to get. Alright, so that is all the books in this haul. I thought there's some pretty cool books all the way from the Golden Age up into modern with that Albedo book as well. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content like this. Again, I've got more videos over here if you want to click on those links to check out some other videos, and my subscription button down here if you want to click on that if you aren't subscribed. I would really appreciate it. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.